The arrival of a baby often brings immense joy, but it also introduces new tensions that many couples don't anticipate. It's easy to assume that love and shared responsibility will carry a relationship through. But the truth is that the transition into parenthood is one of the most challenging phases a couple can face. Those early weeks and months are filled with changes to sleep, roles, identity, and emotional bandwidth, which can create an emotional and physical distance between partners. Sleep deprivation is one of the most underestimated stressors after childbirth. Constant nighttime wakings erode patience and emotional regulation. Small disagreements can quickly escalate, and partners might find themselves snapping at each other over insignificant things. With a lack of rest, it becomes harder to be empathetic or affectionate, making even small gestures of kindness feel like effort. A sudden drop in physical intimacy is another common challenge. Hormonal changes, physical recovery, and exhaustion all contribute to a decline in sexual desire. One partner might feel rejected, while the other feels pressured, creating a loop of frustration and misunderstanding. Without honest communication, assumptions begin to fill in the gaps, breeding emotional distance. Role confusion tends to surface quickly. Traditional expectations or assumptions about who should do what can trigger conflict. When one partner feels they're carrying an unfair load, whether that's baby care, housework, or earning income, it can lead to resentment. Unequal division of responsibilities, whether perceived or real, can put immense pressure on a couple. Financial strain often becomes more pronounced. From medical expenses to baby gear and a reduced household income, money suddenly feels tighter. This stress can lead to arguments, especially if couples haven't aligned on financial priorities or if one partner feels unsupported in managing these pressures. The mental load is often invisible but heavy. Keeping track of feeding times, doctor's appointments, and grocery needs can feel like a second full-time job. When one partner is managing most of these cognitive tasks, it can leave them feeling overwhelmed and unappreciated. Lack of acknowledgement intensifies emotional exhaustion. Communication tends to become transactional. Conversations shift from connection to coordination. Did you feed the baby? Or, what time is the appointment? Leaving little room for deeper emotional exchanges. Over time, this absence of meaningful conversation weakens the bond and can lead to a sense of emotional loneliness even while physically together. Many couples struggle with the loss of freedom. Spontaneous dates, long walks, or even lounging in silence together are replaced by feeding schedules and constant baby-related tasks. This lack of couple time can result in feeling disconnected from the romantic partnership, as both begin to feel more like co-parents than lovers. Jealousy can creep in unexpectedly. One partner might envy the time the other gets away from the baby, even if it's for work. The stay-at-home parent might feel trapped, while the working parent feels overwhelmed by expectations to perform both at work and home. These emotions, if not expressed, can quietly chip away at connection. Social isolation is another silent relationship killer. New parents often find themselves cut off from their pre-baby social lives. Friends without children might drift away, and even family dynamics can shift. With fewer opportunities for adult interaction and less external emotional support, couples tend to turn inward, sometimes expecting too much from one another. In-law involvement and boundary issues can create tension. Well-meaning relatives may offer unsolicited advice or try to take control, leading to feelings of disrespect or loss of autonomy. If couples aren't on the same page about how to handle extended family, it can quickly become a source of conflict. Unrealistic expectations make everything harder. If one or both partners hold on to a fantasy of what parenthood should look like, they may constantly feel they're failing. Comparison to others, especially on social media, only amplifies this, leaving couples feeling inadequate instead of supported. Differences in parenting styles can become more apparent. One parent might be more permissive, while the other values structure. These contrasting approaches, if not discussed openly, often result in ongoing disagreements that extend beyond parenting and bleed into the emotional health of the relationship. One or both partners may experience identity loss. The person who once felt confident, independent, and energetic might now feel reduced to a caretaker role. This identity crisis can cause emotional withdrawal, making it harder to engage in the relationship with enthusiasm and presence. Postpartum depression and anxiety are not just personal struggles. They impact the entire relationship. If one partner is suffering in silence, the other may feel helpless or even shut out. Emotional volatility, withdrawal, or irritability can all be symptoms that strain even the strongest bonds. Time becomes a scarce resource. Moments that once felt abundant are now carved up into baby care, chores, work, and brief attempts at sleep. Couples often stop prioritizing their connection, falsely assuming they'll reconnect later. But that later can stretch on indefinitely without conscious effort. Resentment over unequal appreciation tends to fester when one partner feels invisible. Acts of sacrifice, waking up early, skipping meals, handling tantrums, can go unnoticed. A simple thank you or a shared acknowledgement of effort goes a long way in maintaining mutual respect and emotional closeness. Decision fatigue also plays a role. Parenting requires a constant stream of decisions, from what to feed the baby to when to start sleep training. When couples aren't aligned or one person is expected to make all the choices, frustration builds. This can turn even the smallest decisions into battles. Emotional intimacy often takes a hit when physical or mental energy is depleted. Deep, vulnerable conversations require presence and trust, both of which are harder to access during times of transition. When partners feel emotionally unsafe or unheard, they begin to emotionally detach. Some partners feel replaced. Especially for non-birthing parents, it's easy to feel like they've been moved to the sidelines. The intense bond between mother and child can sometimes unintentionally exclude the other parent, leaving them feeling useless, unwanted, or disconnected. Perhaps the most profound challenge is accepting that the relationship is evolving. Trying to go back to how things were only leads to frustration. Growth after childbirth means recognizing that change is inevitable, but with awareness, empathy, and intentional effort, the bond can not only survive but thrive in new and powerful ways.